Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Shut Up and Do It podcast, the place where you can come and hang out with us while we go through all things real estate with a focus on bringing you top quality topics and speakers, all who believe in a get it done manner. I'm your host, Nick Aalerud, creator of the Complete Deal Flow System and a principal with AA Real Estate Group, along with my partner and co-host, the Deal Flow expert, sales trainer, the lead gen machine, the leader of the Solutions Group, the broker and the Esquire, Robbie Retzel. What's up, Rob?
I'm doing well. I can't grasp that introduction. I don't know, man. It's
best intro ever. I build you up, and then I see a scruffy guy, and
I know. Yeah. I don't look like it, right? I totally agree.
People expect a big suit, with the big tall shoes and everything. But
maybe I'll start doing that. I'll start suiting up for these.
I am super, super psyched for today's guest. I have known this man, Bill, for a very, very, very long time. He's actually from the South Pole. So anybody who's south of Route 9 in Massachusetts is from a whole different equator climate. I am super, super happy to have him on. He's been in real estate for a bunch of years, about I think 10 years or so. And he's got a heck of a story to tell. So welcome to the show, Bill. We're happy to have you.
Well, thank you very much, Nick. That was enjoyable. So thank you.
No worries. Bill, if you don't mind, just get started telling us, I guess the first question is, what were you doing before real estate and what brought you to real estate? And you seem a little older than 15 years old. I'm just curious. Were there any, aha moments for you, or what happened there?
Yeah, exactly. I'm 30 years old now. So what happened? I started this journey probably back in '79. I was doing some finished carpentry with my dad and my brother. And I really, really enjoyed that. I was 21 at the time. So, but we weren't getting paid every week. We were doing subdivisions down the Cape, and we would get paid every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, or once in a while every week. But I was getting married, going to have a baby, and needed some weekly paychecks because that was the mindset. That's the way I was conditioned growing up. So that's what I looked for. So I left that and I went to work for a manufacturing company in Braintree. And then I worked there for a few years. They sold the division I was at to a place in Waltham where I worked for 21 years before they started to go crazy. So I left there. I mean, I'd lay awake at night. This is kind of where it all began because I'd lay awake at night thinking, I have a family, I have a mortgage. How's this all going to get paid if I don't have a job? If this company goes under, what am I going to do? And then one night, I'll just go get another job because that's what we do. So I did that, and I worked for a place in Stoughton for 10 years. And about my 9th year in, they're a good company. They're still very vibrant. My boss was excellent, but I just didn't feel right. I wasn't happy. It wasn't my passion. I was still in manufacturing, and I've always enjoyed the carpentry aspect of rehabbing. I've always enjoyed the whole process of it. I didn't know anything about buying. I didn't know anything about selling. I certainly didn't know anything about wholesaling. And I certainly wasn't under the impression that strangers were just going to lend me money to buy houses. And right. I paid them handsomely for that. So none of that was really clicking with me. I didn't understand it or even hear about it then. And then my daughter got sick in 2010. And she was in Boston for a while, and thank the Lord, she's fine today, 100%. And I found this company, Fortune Builders, and decided to look into them a little further. So in 2010, I joined them. And, funny story now, we lived week to week most of our lives, but we were always good. I made good money, but we just never had this giant savings account. But we were very comfortable and happy. I own my own house. We have cars and all of that kind of stuff. But so we're sitting across from each other. I have kept going to my boss. I need time off. I need to go to the hospital today. I won't be in tomorrow. I got this and that. And he was always excellent. That was never an issue. But I always had to go and ask. And I decided that, it's time that I do what I want to do. It's time that I do something for myself, but something, on the other hand, where many people can benefit. Not just my family, but strangers, people I don't even know. The field of love and gratitude that goes out is crazy because the people that help us on this journey, like you, Nick, and Rob, contractors, all of that. So it just got really big for me quickly. So I searched online because that's how we search everything. And office we had upstairs in a spare bedroom now because my children are grown and moved out. and have their own homes. We're up there going through the interview process with this company, Fortune Builders, and they came to the price, and the price was 18 grand. I don't have 18 grand at that point. And my heart sank to my feet. My wife immediately gave me the thumbs up. It was in that instant I knew we were going to be excellent. We were going to be all right. Because, when you have that approval from the wife, everything's possible, brother. It's just the way it works. So we were able to, through credit cards and my 401k, raise that money in 3 days. We paid for the course, and I've never looked back. And then in 2014, I was offered a partnership with a buddy of mine, and I took that offer, and we had a great run for a long time. But it was time for me to go off again and continue to do, because I didn't feel whole still. You know what I mean? It was nothing about the partnership or anything like that. It wasn't how I felt internally. So I needed to find what was going to really make me happy. And that was kind of owning my own business by myself. I wanted to try that. Holy crap, is that a lot of work? But I enjoy the hell out of it. So that's kind of where we were. In 2016, we decided to mutually split. It was very, very friendly split. And we're both fortunate for that. And we're still friends today, which is great. But it's, he's doing well, I'm doing well, and it's just better that way. I've been doing this now on my own since June of last year, and I absolutely love it.
I want to go back to toy hobby airplanes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the whole 10 years in the 2000s, 2000 to 2010, I flew large-scale model airplanes, 8-foot wingspan, 32-inch propellers. I should have brought a propeller up for my base. You hand start these suckers.
Oh, wow.
Really flip the prop. Gas engines, 85cc engines. These were fun. Those were really fun. And I had a good job. But see, that was the life. I would work till 3 o'clock every day, and my wife worked till 7:30. So I would go to the flying field from 3:30 to 7:30. It was great. We'd fly every day, and we had a good time. I'd come home, would have dinner, watch TV, go to bed, get up, go to work, go to the flying field, come home, watch TV. It was just the same pattern. And certainly weren't growing. We weren't going anywhere. And when I decided in 2010 to do this, I had to give up that time. So I sold all my equipment, and I just don't have the desire to go back, because in my spare time, it's crazy. All I want to do is write systems or work, and I have to really force myself out of that, enjoy the moment that I'm in. And sometimes that's difficult, as you guys probably know. I think anybody that does this, if you don't have the drive for it, it's not going to work. And if you have the drive that's over the top, I don't think that's going to work either. So you got to find that balance, and I find that difficult sometimes. But it is what it is. My wife's super understanding. My family's super understanding. The support is crazy. I could get all emotional on that, but I have from my family. It's nuts.
We haven't had anybody cry yet on the podcast. There's always a first.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm probably going to be, I could be that candidate. My kids give me cards for birthday, Father's Day, Christmas, just to see me cry and see which one of them set me off. They love it. That's a true story.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it's something very important. Obviously, the supportive spouse. A lot of times you don't have that, and it can be very challenging.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah, no doubt. And you have little kids. I mean, Nick, your children are so small, but it's difficult when they're small. It's difficult. My kids are grown and out of the house right now, so it's much easier for us.
Bill, you mentioned, obviously you took the leap of faith and bought into one of the biggest coaching programs in the country. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, do you think you could have still be where you are today with or without the programs that you purchased, be it that one or any other programs that you had purchased in the meantime too?
Not at all. It would take many, many, many years to try to learn what we learned in that time frame. Now, I've been a member of Fortune Builders since 2010. That's 8 years. So I am still learning every day. Every day I learn something new. And if you think for a minute that you are going to learn this business and not continue to learn, you're in trouble. But I think I highly recommend a course. I would not recommend doing this on your own. I think the time frame, we will be dead before we get what we get out of a course.
That's right. It's interesting. People, they think that they know the business, and then they kind of stop. They don't have mentors. They don't buy courses anymore. They kind of stop learning. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. We try to take at least one course a year and really just constantly be learning new things. It's so important.
It's critical. I mean, I have a life coach.
Right.
Which helps me with my business, helps me with personal things, helps me all around. So it's not just business, it's the whole mindset shift. My mindset has shifted so much since 2010. It's nuts. My wife says to me sometimes, I don't know who the hell you are anymore, but I'm not sure how she means that. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, people don't want to spend the money on the courses, but it's either you make the mistakes yourself, because when you first start, you don't even know what you don't know. So you either pay for someone to walk you through it, or you pay by making mistakes on your deals. I mean, that's kind of the only way it works, really.
I agree. I think you're going to pay for it. You're either going to pay with money or you're going to pay with time. That's how we fix problems. And, you know, I don't mind working on the projects, but that's not the best use of my time. You know, I just did the math on some of those projects that I've been working on, and I'm making $8.88 an hour while I'm doing that. And it's like,
all right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's right to the penny, actually, because I literally figured it out, what the holding costs are and so forth. But also, I'm not finding homes. I'm not looking for any deals at that moment either. So it costs us way more than just $8.88 or the difference between what I think I should make.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a caveat onto the coaching programs, because I think there's so many that are tremendously valuable, and absolutely, you mentioned time and money. Like you said, you're going to learn one way, it's going to cost you time, or it's going to cost you money, one or the other. I also, invested like you, not in that particular program, but, in a couple of other huge programs in the country. It's funny because in my experience with the big dollar coachings, I learned a bunch, but I actually feel like I got way more value out of the local people, like similar to, either yourself or people I would meet at the RIA groups, people that just were local in my market that were doing it. And, I invested in a lot of the local people. For me personally, I got so much out of the local programs that I was involved with. But I'm glad, Fortune Builders is known for their systems, right? Which we're obviously a huge fan of. So
yeah, but you brought up a good point, because it's the networking. I never would have thought that networking was, like, first of all, my number one lead.
Right.
And I never would have thought, like, I would have never known you, Nick, if I wasn't into real estate. And Rob, I would have known either one of you if I didn't get into real estate, right?
I went down to the South Pole, right? You've never been to the North Pole up here by us, right?
I've been to the North Pole. I went hunting in the North Pole a long time ago in Chelmsford.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago. I don't do that no more. But yeah, networking is the key, and certainly local people, yourself, my ex-partner, Mike, everybody has been, and just numerous people, lenders and everybody else that you network with are definitely helping you in this education. Because the people that I joined up with, Fortune Builders, they're out in San Diego. That's the distance. We have a great coach here, Alex Shuck. Alex is a great guy. I talk to him often. So, it's just...
we did a podcast with him already. He was, I believe, podcast number 3.
Yeah.
So him and Kathy how to tackle real estate as a couple, which was interesting.
Yeah, very good. That is interesting. I should listen to that. Yeah, because my wife helps me. She does all the admin. She has a job still. She does all my admin stuff with QuickBooks and everything else. So
okay.
In the beginning, I did all of that. So we're starting to let that out. We got some acquisitions people that we're bringing on, commission-based to help us find properties and kind of just grow this thing, not so fast, but slow in the pace that I want to grow it. So I can pull myself out at some point.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how the transition from, you being kind of a solopreneur, if you will, and, learning to scale up, learning to set your business systems in place. How did you make that call? And then what are you doing now for the steps to kind of help scale it?
Okay. Yeah. Well, my coach actually helped me with that call, because it was hard for me to let go. I'll just do it. It'll only take me a minute to do this. It'll only take me a minute to do that. But what happened was those minutes add up to hours. The next thing you know, it's 8:00 at night, and you're doing these tasks that somebody else could be doing while I'm doing something else. I don't want to pay somebody to mow my lawn if I'm going to sit in and watch a movie. That doesn't work for me. I got to be structured and doing something productive.
Right.
So to help scale it up, my wife obviously volunteered. Listen, why don't you show me how to do QuickBooks, and we'll do that, which I learned on my own too. With my CPA's help, we picked it up and we just learned it. It's not really that difficult, really, QuickBooks, once you get it, certainly the level that I'm at in it. And so my wife took over that, and then I just started writing down everything I did verbatim, and just made checklists and just forwarded that off to her. And she's gone through it, and she's much smarter than I am. So she picked it up and, made some changes on our systems, and now anybody can do it. We want to bring in, I'm rereading the E-Myth again for the 3rd time. And it's amazing. Third time I'm rereading it, things are clicking that I'm like, geez, I didn't hear that before. It's just amazing. And that's a great book. If none of you guys out there have read that book, that's a book to read for sure. That'll help with your systems and understand that, and read it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever it takes to stand it. So just physically taking the time and time blocking out time, that's huge for me. Because I don't like to multitask. I don't believe multitasking works. You can't do 2 things at once. I don't care what it is. You can do 2 things at once. You just can't do them well. So if you do one thing focused, you're going to get the other thing done focused, and you're going to save a lot of time in that manner. So I had to literally block time out, shut my phone off, and just write these systems so I could train her quickly. That worked. My acquisitions people, we're doing that now with them. We're going through those systems, and we're going to be passing off some documents to them. This is how we do it. And if you have a better idea, I'm all for that. I'm not asking you to be a robot. I'm asking you to start with what we have, and let's see how we can tweak it to make it the best that we can. Because like the email says, I don't need to hire the top people to go find me acquisitions. We can train certain people, and we all know a lot of wholesalers out there think they have all these deals, but they're not deals. Those are the people I'd like to train. I'd love to train them if they would only listen. I just want them to listen.
They don't want to hear it when you tell them that it's not actually a deal. They think you're cheap or whatever. You mentioned networking as your best source of leads. What kind of marketing are you doing now? Are you direct mail or anything like that?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of direct mail right now, and we're doing a lot of Craigslist ads.
Okay,
we're reaching out to different targets to direct mail.
Right.
There's still a lot of short sales out there, and I don't want to get involved in a short sale right now, but it's just money in the bank. So if I did, that'd be fine. But if you could get those people, a short sale becomes because they owe too much money and they've spent all their money or whatever, and the house isn't going to be viable for an investor.
Yeah.
But, I think, as far as the marketing goes, we're doing Craigslist to answer your question. We're doing a lot of direct mail, which we do in-house right now. We're going to outsource that rather quickly because, again, that takes up way too much time.
That's a good move. That was probably the first thing that I outsourced.
Yeah, it's hard. We're having our website built. We're going to be going online soon and doing some pay-per-click to get started up in the SEO market. We want to get up there, but that's going to take some time. So let's generate some leads through pay-per-click. That's going to cost some money, obviously. And, just try to branch out with different avenues. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, be careful with pay-per-click. It can get expensive fast. That's the one thing I will say about that.
You get what? Oh, it gets expensive fast. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rob can tell you our lead prices per lead have skyrocketed over the past year and a half or so online. It's been ridiculous.
Yeah. Crazy. Is it working for you?
It was. I don't know about really recently.
It's kind of hot and cold. It's interesting how it changes. It'll go through, a month or two where I think we were at one point closing 40% of the leads or something like that. And then, 3 months you'll get nothing.
Bill, what's been your biggest, whether it's a rehab project or even just a business system you're trying to overcome, what's been your biggest challenge, let's say, up to this point in the real estate world?
Biggest challenge has probably been trying to budget my time. Yeah, because I'm always on.
Dive in, baby. Here we go. Yeah. What was your challenge, and then how did you try to correct it?
Oh, correct it?
Or continue to try to correct it? Like
we're working on that.
Right.
The biggest challenge is I love it. I love it. It doesn't get old. I could be sitting at 8 o'clock at night and working on my systems, looking at leads, whatever, podcasts. I could do whatever. But as long as it's something in the business. That's why when we talked about the airplanes, I have no desire to do that anymore because I like working. I never found work as work, no matter what I did, other than having to punch in and punch out. But in between that, I've always enjoyed that. So my biggest challenge is trying to find that time. On Sundays, I pretty much leave my phone home. If we go out, certainly if I'm with family, I try to leave the phone off or home. I have 7 grandchildren, 1 on the way. Wow. So we're pretty active with them. They have basketball, baseball, soccer, play, so whatever. So we go to as much of that as we can, which is a lot. And I leave my phone at home. A few years back, my son called me out on the soccer field watching my grandson play soccer. Why are you always on your phone?
Yeah.
That hurt.
I did it.
Yeah, so it's that's the biggest challenge, but it's easy to overcome It's easy to overcome on Sundays because I've changed my mind to know that. But during the night, during the week, I mean, even my wife, God love her, she's even said to me, you know, I feel like I'm always interrupting.
You are. Get away. Shut
That's
the door.
what I said. That didn't work. He didn't find it quite as funny as we do. So, you know, we've been more conscious in that effort too.
Yeah. It's funny because to relate with that, you know, with the two small kids now, I find myself always wanting to hang out with them, but I do miss, I think my most productive 4 hours a day formally was like between like let's say 4:30 and 8:30 p.m. I was either at the office or, you know, at an isolated room. Like you said, I could turn on a podcast at full volume. I could work on systems. I could, you know, bang through 3 projects that I've been waiting to bang through. And I do miss those productive hours because those were, I think, my most productive hours, even up to like 11 p.m. You know, I don't know. I haven't been able to do that for a while with children yelling and that sort of thing.
Of course. Certainly don't want to wake a sleeping child.
That's true.
Yeah.
How about on the rehab front, Bill? What's been the most challenging rehab you've ever done?
Probably doing it now. It's challenging only for the fact that there's some things I missed in my walkthrough. Things I thought I was going to be able to handle. Not handle, I can handle it all. But there's some things I thought that were going to be less of a challenge than they weren't. We had a huge concrete porch that had wings on it. We're just going to take the wings off. Well, the whole porch crumbled. And, you know, between that and the pipe going out back to the septic system, which passed Title V, thank God, was under a patio. The patio had to come out. I took out 18 tons of concrete out of this property. And the first 9 tons went in my dumpster until I got the bill for $900 extra. So then I found a concrete recycling place where they allowed me to bring it for free. So in hindsight, I will never do that again. This is what I mean. We're always learning, right? $900. You're either spending time or money, man. So, yeah, this one's been a little bit of a challenge as far as the budget goes, but we're still good. The market's climbing. Houses around it are selling and climbing. They're getting more than asking for them, so that's a good thing. But I don't buy them that way because that's a dangerous game. I'm going to have my ARV a little higher than what I expected. The house is going to be much nicer now. You know, we're going to have all new front porch, and the patio's gone. But that'll just be all seeded and loom. So that's been the biggest challenge.
So do you focus on specific price points, or are you more kind of wherever the deals arise, basically?
No, that's a good question. I absolutely focus on price points. I mostly focus, price points sort of, first-time home buyer market is where I want to be. I want to be in the big homes. I don't want to be in the $1 million homes. I don't want to be up there. Not afraid, cautious. I think within the next 3 to 4 years, we're going to see a shift. So, well, 2 to 4 probably. First-time home buyers, they're always there, always getting a mortgage. So if I stay in that market, if everybody else starts buying them at stupid prices, I can stay in that market on the acquisition side of it.
That's it.
Then that would work for me. That's where I like to be, is a first-time home market.
That's our mantra, baby, right? The singles. Doubles and triples are good, but they come with a cost of risk or exposure. So we love those singles, man.
Yeah.
We just did one that was technically out of our model, right? It was a 2-bedroom, like, what was it, 900 square feet or something like that in Methuen. And
it was like, I mean, with the finished basement, it got up to almost 1,200, but yeah, it was small.
1,200. And of course, we shattered all resale records for 2-bedroom houses in that market. Because like you said, Bill, in this market too, if we have an overage in our rehab budgets, or if we make a mistake that we didn't really know about, the market's helpful in correcting for that at this moment, right? Like we can fudge up a lot of mistakes. And I think the danger in that comes with those brand new investors that just now took a course, that just are now going and competing with you on your MLS deals and are overpaying for these properties. They're going to still make a profit because the market's correcting and adjusting for that. And they're going to think that they're brilliant until that one day they're not. Right?
Mess up when the market's going up 10% a month, you know?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I mean, $15,000 profit in the end doesn't work for me.
Right.
I'm grateful that I made that money, but that's not how you go into it, because you could eat that up, as you know, as we've all done probably, in a heartbeat. I looked at a house yesterday in Plymouth, put an offer in on it this morning, cautiously, but 540 square foot ranch. Crazy little small ranch, 2-bedroom, full gut. My offer was super, super low, comped out at 220, crazy. And, you know, my offer was below 70, so that's where we're going to be. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, it's 540. I'm going to have a little trouble selling it on the back end, maybe, Maybe not. It could be worth 600,000 when I'm done. I don't know. Keep going.
That is true.
Yeah.
How about on your construction side, Bill? What's been the way you've kind of managed on the construction? Did you have someone in-house? Do you have crews, general contractors? What's the best way you've learned to handle that?
Right now, where I'm on my own, I handle it all myself. I hire out my plumbers, my electricians. I hire everybody. And I've been using the same guys for years. So they're all good guys. They all do what they say they're going to do. And I'm told I pay a little differently than most. They finish the job, they get a check. They don't need to wait. My wife cuts them a check. We mail it out, or they come to the house and get it, whatever they want to do. I like it off my plate. I don't like bills. I never did. And it's just the way I operate. And, part of that theory is that they're going to come back to me when I ask them to, or when I need them to, because they know this is the guy that's going to pay us. I pride myself with that, but I think I manage all of that, and it could be stressful. I wake up most days at 3:30, and then I snap the TV on, and the TV, I have a Samsung TV in my bedroom, and every night at 3:30, I turn it on, it goes, and my wife goes, ugh. But the mind's always going, man, and I hate that. I want to go back to sleep, but I have to watch TV for 15, 20 minutes, half hour to get my mind off of what I'm thinking about so I can go back to sleep. So I manage it. It's heavy sometimes, but not bad.
Are you doing multiple projects at once now, or are you managing multiple rehabs?
Yeah. Last year I did 3 at a time. Yeah, this year, right now I got one. I got one under contract since January. Yeah, the bank didn't foreclose properly. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that's still going on. And we have a great attorney. We use Megan and Brandy up there. They're just super, super people.
Hey, Bill, I have a question I'd like to ask random people. What's been the best, most useful purchase you've ever made under $100?
Oh, the best, most useful. My marriage license.
Whoa, there we go.
I like it. Very nice. All right. Good answer.
Were you talking real estate?
No,
it's anything.
Yeah, probably one of the best things I ever did.
That's the best.
That's great.
Cool, Bill. How can people reach you?
They can reach me directly on my cell at 774-263-9265. They can find me online at bill@homeventuresma.com. That's my email. Or online is homeventuresma.com.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Anything you're excited about you want to kind of pitch or let people know about right now?
Yeah, I'm excited for the upcoming year. I mean, we got several deals coming up in the works and looking to manage 4 or 5 at a time. But looking to get that all out and trying to outsource more of our life here at Home Ventures so we can enjoy more of my family.
That's awesome. Bill, how about one bit of advice for any investors that are starting out right now? What would you, if you could put something on a billboard for them, what would you put on a billboard?
Yeah, don't give up and stop with your excuses. I just spoke with a wholesaler earlier today, and they have all these excuses why things didn't get done. And I'm kind of a straight shooter, so I just said, listen, that's got to be the end of that. You got to stop, or you're going to find yourself in the same place in 3 weeks and in 3 years. It's just the way it is. Perseverance, stay strong, just keep going. Don't ever, ever quit. Just shut up and do it, man.
Oh, I like it.
I love it. That's awesome.
That was awesome, Bill. Bill, thanks so much for your time today, man. We really, really appreciate you being on with us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer, guys, and it's really fun to do this. I was nervous as hell, but it went smooth and very relaxed. You guys are awesome. You rock.
You are always invited north of Route 9 to the North Pole, all the time.
A little cold out there right now. It's about 95, hazy, hot, and humid here, so I don't know what it's like there.
That's nice. All right, guys, we'll see you all on the next episode, and we'll see you then in this awkward closeout.